Hey guys, what's crappin'? Welcome to another one of these vlogs of mine. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Fuck, his breath stinks. But, still no scamper sightings, so I don't know what the hell's going on there, but I need to make some breakfast before we go off to work. So let's make some eggs. Have some eggs, have some toast, pack a lunch, go to work, bang out a shift, come home, and maybe if we got some decent comments, we can film the commenting on comments again. Who knows? See, I figured last night I could have filmed a couple of commenting on comments and got them, got a couple down so that we could get them queued up. But the problem is I thought I bought more than just one carton of this shit. I did. There's another one down there. Okay, anyway. The problem with the commenting on comments last night was 90% of the comments were, dude, that fucking music has to go. Dude, I'm fucking sick of this music. Holy crap, I feel like I'm watching a Willy Wonka show. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody was just pissed off about the music. Nobody was leaving a valid comment for me to actually comment on. Which makes commenting on comments fucking hard to do a lot of the times. But what I was thinking about doing was, when a video comes out, the next day have a commenting on comments about it. And call the actual video commenting on comments, episode whatever, and name it after the vlog so people can see their comments being read. That's another thing I was thinking about doing, but that's a lot more work on my shoulders. It's also a damn near impossible thing to do, and half the comments you get, you can't even comment on. Like when somebody says like, hey, nice video, I don't really want to just put a comment up saying thanks, Like, I like people when they ask like, hey, what's your plans for vacation? Or, like they ask a valid question, that's something I can answer. I'm just coming up here to get my coffee cup, and for some reason the dog thinks we're going in the room to hang out. Because he's stupid. There it is. So, yeah. Come on, Oreo. Come. Out. Thanks, bud. But, yeah, so when I get like comments I can't work with, then I can't make commenting on comments. But, yeah. I'm not going to worry about the old comments. I'm commenting on them. They're too dang old, but let that be known, people that are watching this video. If you leave a comment, I'll comment on it on live video. Something I used to do and something I want to bring back because it worked out so well last night. So, that'd be the battle plan. Grab one of these breakfast blend coffees, drive her into the coffee maker, slam her down, call her quits. Yay, breakfast is done. Alrighty guys, I'm going to build a lunch. It's getting late. We got to get off to work and bang out this shift. So I'm going to crack off a lunch and we're going to go. Ugh. That's what happens when you leave your outside light on. The spiders come out and make nests and all the bugs get stuck in the nests, and I'm going to be taking the pressure washer to that shit. I'm also going to have to get this lawn done very soon. Probably tomorrow if it's nice out. Clean up over there and go from there. But right now, we got to figure out to work, people. So, the tire pressures, they both look good. Right on. I was just chatting with Marcel St. Jean there from YouTube. So a lot of you guys subscribe to him. He just said that he's taking the train back to Edmonton. I think he was gonna drive Blue back, but I guess he decided against that, and now he wants to sell the truck. So I was asking him about pricing, and he said he wants to get about $5 grand for it's a '94 Sierra, rear-wheel drive. Can't remember what he said the engine was. It's either a 305 or I don't think it's a 350 under the hood unless it's aftermarket. Rear-wheel drive. It's just like my old black one. Like, it's the same damn truck except for his is in like mint condition because he kept it underneath the tarp chamois all that time, right? He never drove it in the winter. The moment the first snowflake landed, he fucking garaged that truck, like get it out of the elements. And yeah, so he wants to dump her because I don't know why he's not driving it back. I thought he liked that truck, but I guess he realized maybe he doesn't have room over there to park it, or well, he does have that big garage. You can, holy shit, bud. Okay, I guess you got the right of way because you're fucking massive. That's the way I judge things. But yeah, so I was like, $5 grand, fuck man. If I had that kind of cash, I would totally get that, but he'd be mad at me because I would drive it in the winter. Even though it's only rear-wheel drive, which would be kind of a pain in the arse in the winter around here. But, you put enough weight in the back, get a nice set of shoes for it for the winter, and fuck, she'd hook. There's a bunch of people around town driving those. I think even Rex did it. Rex's old Smokey, I think he called it. His blue V6 Sierra like that. I always called it blue. Old Blue, but it's Old Smoky. Marcel's was blue. Anyway, yeah, I'd totally pick up that truck if I had the cash. That'd be a fucking riot. I miss my old Sierra. I regret getting rid of it, and the only reason why I got rid of it was because I had this. Did I have this? No, I had the Ford Focus. I had the Trans Am, and I had the Sierra. So like the Focus was my daily, the Sierra was my work haul, which I had labeled it, I called it Ironhide, like the Transformer. And then there was the Trans Am, which basically was like my sports car. And the ex was really pissed off because we had 3 cars in the driveway and none of them were hers, and she wanted me to get rid of one, and she pestered and pestered and pestered and pestered. So I ended up getting rid of the truck because it was the one I used the less. Like I literally used it like, okay, well we need to get some, we wanted to replace some paneling in the living room because the paneling was pretty shot. So, you know, let's jump in Ironhide and go to the Home Depot. Went to Home Depot and we picked it up. Same with when we bought the flooring for the the kitchen. We used Ironhide to go pick it up. You know, oh, I had to do a dump run. Ironhide. My buddy had to move. Ironhide. That's literally all I ever used the truck for, was to haul. But she bitched, moaned, complained, so I ended up selling it. Now I bought my Sierra. It had 189,000 clicks on a 305, which basically shit the bed 2 weeks after I bought it because it had bad rings and it was burning fluids like crazy. So instead of doing a rebuild on the 305, my buddy found a 350 for it. It actually cost me nothing because it was a buddy of his who just wanted to get it out of his barn. And he wasn't 100% sure. Like he said, it ran when he took it out, but that was like 3 years ago. Holy fuck, I thought that guy was gonna smash into me. This guy in this white vehicle beside me, I thought he was just gonna totally peel one into me. A Mercedes. B World 1. Oh, that's Burger World. Guys who own Burger World, he drives that. That's when you know you're making money selling burgers big time, eh? Is when you can drive a fucking Mercedes around North Bay. Not exactly an easy car to get serviced around here, probably. Oh my goodness, everybody's turning. This sucks. But anyway, but yeah, my Sierra, I friggin' love that truck, man. We used it to move my buddy Chuck. We used it to move another guy. My buddy Chuck borrowed it off me, and after that was all said and done, I was like, you know what? I started looking at these like mini trucks, eh? People with like trucks that ride as low as a car, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I want to do that. So I talked to Chuck about it, and he said, oh, dude, yeah, do it. And he's like, you need to do a 4-inch drop in the front and a 6-inch drop in the rear, and you'll fucking be there. And sure enough, he was right. I went and it was Canuck Motorsports or Canuck Springs or something like that. I can't remember the name of the company. Canuck Suspension even. Anyway, they're based out of Canada, somewhere over in the Albertas, I believe. Maybe in Saskatchewan, I'm not sure. But it was 400 bucks. No, it was cheaper than that. I think it was around 300 bucks or something like that for the kit. And it came with lowering springs and all sorts of other junk, blocks and whatnot. And we did the install at Chuck's old job when he used to work at the Alignment Center, when that place actually existed. And we lowered it 4.6. And you'd think, oh, 4-inch drop, that wouldn't do much. Well, holy shit, the car rode as high as this, or the truck almost rode as high as this G6. Almost as high as this G6. Like, it was a low riding pickup truck. And it was, like, you go around corners, not too much body roll. The rear was still stiff as fuck because it was floating on leaf springs. So that's, that's where the blocks, I believe, came in. And I think we had to do... I think we had to bolt the axle above the suspension. I think that's what it was. You basically flip the axle or some shit and you put it above, and then you lowered it that way. And like the truck rode really low. It was really awesome. There was next to no wheel gap. And with the 350 and thereafter, I computer tuned it because it was OBD0, and I know how to do that one. I don't know how to really tune these OBD2s. Apparently it's even easier. But yeah, after I tuned the computer, because it was still running the stock 305 tune on a 350, and I mentioned it before, but the 350 engine we got was a carbureted one. So we had to, what the hell did we have to do? There was something with the fuel pump being a mechanical fuel pump, so we had to change that to the electric fuel pump. He knew how to do all the work, so literally I just paid him in beer because that's what he wanted. And we got the work did to the truck. And my goodness, once it was done, it was basically like, it came with an LO3 as they call it. That's the 305 throttle body injected, but for some reason it had more horsepower than the one in the Trans Am. It was rated for 185 horse, with the one in the Trans Am is rated for 170. But the 350 was whatever the carbureted engine code for a 350 carb. I don't know what the hell that one is. We basically converted it to an LO5 throttle body 350. No idea how much power it put out, but you could really feel it on the roads. When you rugged her because of the tires I had on it were kind of, well, they were good tires, but they were kind of skinny too. She fucking chirped. And unlike the Trans Am, both tires fired, which was awesome for doing wicked burnouts. I remember that because I had my Sierra, and then he was sick and tired of borrowing my Sierra, and he came across an old square body 86 with a carbureted 350 in it, and we used to go out trucking. He did the same thing to his. He did the 4.6 drop on his, but he did it a little bit cheaper than me because he knew how to get parts and stuff and make his own suspension drop kit. And we both had 4.6 drop Sierras. His was the old boxier style. Mine was the newer, still boxy but not bad style. Like, it was like, you know, it was pretty awesome. Like, we just drive around town and do burnouts and fucking roast our tires. We actually sat at the lights over by the mall over there one night and just did a brake stand for the whole time the light was red. When she turned green, we launched. Fucking drifted around the corner and shit in pickup trucks. It was hilarious. I didn't have an exhaust on mine. I just had a stock exhaust. He had headers going into a bored out catalytic converter straight out the fucking arse. One dump pipe. Oh, it sounded hilarious doing burnouts and stuff. It was a good time back in the day of the pickup trucks. I really miss mine. Because after I tuned that 350, man, you'd fill the tank. It would cost you about 70 bucks to fill the tank. And we thought that was weird. And then we started questioning, like, maybe the tank's got water in it. Maybe we should drain the tank. So when we got the tank down low enough, we cut the straps off, which needed to come off anyway. They were getting pretty rotten. So we took the gas straps off and drained the tank, and there was fuck all in there. The tank was just that small. So then we just went with it. Holy fuck, why is everybody honking? So yeah, all in all, it was a great little pickup truck. It was cheap on gas too. Like, you'd fill the tank and you'd easily be able to get like 500 kilometers in town on that tank on 70 bucks for the gas, and at the time it was about what it is now, $1.10 a liter. So there's no way it was a 60 liter tank. It had to be an 80 liter tank. Maybe the reader, the thing on the dash didn't tell it right. But like, we did 3 dump runs one day, and you've seen how far, well, you haven't seen it because I never filmed the full drive, but like Rex and I have been there a couple times. It's a pretty good ways out. It's about a 15-minute drive up the hill. So, you know, you go there and back, there and back, there and back. You do a bunch of dump runs for people. And once we were done our dump runs, the needle finally started moving off the gas, or the bar, I should say, finally started going down on the fuel. Because they had those old weird gauges where it was like a solid bar that would show how much you had left. And yeah, fucking missed that truck, man. After I tuned it, it was mint on gas. Its fucking fuel tables were mint. It ran a little bit richer than Stoic, but it wasn't noticeable. And the truck had tons of balls, tons of balls. Trans Am was the same way, mind you. That 305, when I got it, it ran like, well, it ran good, but it ran rich. It was fucking thirsty. I'd have to fill that car at least once every week. And then when I tuned it, I was up to like every payday I could put 50 bucks into it and go 2 weeks on driving it. It was so good on gas after I tuned it. The only part I couldn't tune was wide open throttle, but that's because you can't touch that variable. On those old OBD zeros, when you put the pedal to the floor, it literally floods the engine with fuel. It just fucking dumps her. And there's no way to change that number in the computer, because if you're at wide open throttle and you lean out, you might as well start looking at buying a new engine, because you're gonna fuck her big times. And running it rich, whatever, it smoked a bit, you know, not a big deal. Jesus fucking Murphy. I thought he was coming into my lane. Crazy ass bitch. So now you gotta keep your eyes out for bikers and make sure you give them like fucking 28 feet of space. That's friggin' lovely. That pisses me off, man. Not that you gotta give them space, it's just we got all these rules for bikers, but bikers don't have rules for the road. Like, it's fucked. I honestly think that if you're on a pedal bike, I don't care if you look stupid, you should be wearing a helmet. I don't care if it's a motorbike helmet, a bicycle helmet. You should have to wear a helmet. You should have to have lighting on the vehicle. You should be able to be visible. You know, you should have to follow traffic. Because like I said last night when I was coming home from work, I had those 2 guys riding parallel, which in other words, side by each, in the oncoming traffic. So they'd be on the right-hand side of the road right now coming towards me. and it was on a blind corner. So when I came around the corner, I caught them. I was like, holy fuck, and I quickly veered to the left to dodge out of the way, and I was like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, no lights on the bike, no reflectors, no way to actually visually see them. Why would they do that? Like, why would they be stupid like that? Are they trying to die? Because they almost succeeded. Look at the birds eating all the grass, all the friggin' hydro seeds. Look at these fuckers getting fat on hydro seed. Look at him, he's like, oh man, best dinner ever. Oh, am I being filmed? Oh, YouTube, hey, that's what he's doing. No, it just burns my cock that they'll come after people in cars and charge them because demerit points mean more insurance payments. Insurance probably pay a cut to the government, so this all works out for the government to make more money. I don't know, it's fucking stupid. It's all a big cash crop, and it's gotta stop. That's why I'm hoping the NDP gets in, because they want to fix the insurance in Ontario, because right now we pay more for hydro, more for insurance, and more for taxes, property taxes and shit, than anywhere else in the country. And it's because of money-hungry fucking politicians. And it's ridiculous. Like, it's got to stop. There's got to be a break, because then people are just going to end up moving out of Ontario and moving places where it's cheaper just so they can afford to fucking live. It's like this whole, like, the thing that bugs me about the bicycle thing, like, okay, pedal bikes, whatever. I'm not too, it's those fucking eco-peds, you know? I got busted back in the day for driving a moped. I was told, oh, Adam, you can't drive that. You need a restricted Class M. I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. So I walked it back home. Well, I pedaled it back home. I didn't engage the engine until the cop was gone, and then I drove it back home. But basically, I just fucking put her back in the garage and sold it for $100 and got rid of it because I wasn't about to get my motorcycle license. I regret it now, but, you know, back then. But if I need a license to operate a moped that can't do over 30 kilometers an hour because I'm fat, then the people on eco bikes should require to have a Class M license and some form of liability insurance. That would make a lot of sense. Right now they have no insurance. So if they cut you off and you smash into them, they're suing you. You have no defense. You're in the wrong because you hit them. And because you have insurance, they can sue the shit out of you. And you won't pay. They won't pay. And they'll get paid. It's not right. It ain't right. It ain't tight. I don't like that. But anyway, people, I'm at work now. Enough ranting about pedal bikes and all these new laws and the fact that the water meters are turned on and life's about to get really expensive. And I probably won't be able to afford to live in this country. But anyway, thanks for watching my video. Like, favorite, and comment as always. And until next time, guys, keep on vlogging.